Well, hello there, konnichiwa, good morning to you all. So this will be another anime pickup that I finished watching yesterday night, and it is again one Gundam series. In this case, is the series called Mobile Suit Gundam AGE. um, that happens in the advanced generation calendar, and basically is a series that was directed by Suzumu Yamaguchi. It was written by Akihiro Ino. It was made by Studios Sunrise, and it ran from 9 of October of 2011 until 23 of September of 2012, counting 49 episodes. Then we have several manga related with the series. Two are still ongoing: Mobile Suit Gundam Age Story of the Beginning and Mobile Suit Gundam Age First Evolution. Then we have two that were completed, called Mobile Suit Gundam Age Treasure Star and Mobile Suit Gundam Age Memories of Sid. Those are completed, and there was also a compilation over titled Mobile Suit Gundam Age Memory of Aiden that was released in 26th of July of 2013. And well, basically this series is interesting because several factors. One is a series that follows three generations of the same family. The first one is the in 115 AG. That was the story of Fleet Azuno, the patriarch of the family, and the boy that lost his family in an attack on a space colony that was destroyed by a no enemy, and thus the Earth Federation named this enemy precisely UA. At the end of this first generation, but that basically the story centering more on Flint Azuno and the first generation. Basically, it's the 15, 16 episodes of the series. Then the series leaps in a time skip, and we go to the son of Flip Azuno, called Azemo Azuno, and the story of Azemo Azuno spans between 140 and 142 AG, and basically is this story fighting against the vegans that at the end of the first generation we learned that the unknown enemy that was attacking the Earth colonies was a group of humans that were used in a plan to colonize Mars, and basically the plan failed, and they were left drifting on that planet, and they developed diseases and such. And also later on we learned that in the third generation that is the main protagonist is Kyo Azuno. That happens in 164 AG. We learn that they got an old military information, and that was the situation that allowed the vegans to develop their mobile suits and their space fleets and their technology and such. Um, and then we have a lot of other interesting characters that appeared in the series. For instance, from the first generation, well, um, We have a very interesting character called Grodek Ainoa that is the captain of the Diva, a starship, and that he forcibly takes the ship over and basically with the goal to destroy the the vegans, basically because he found that they have a base in an old military fortress that was abandoned in space, and he discovers this information, and then the final battle of the first generation is the battle of Ormbat, and eventually after the battle is over, this guy is arrested and we see him again in second generation. um, and we have a character that appears in the first generation. One of my favorite characters of the series is a guy called Ulf Eneaklu. He is a fantastic character. He is a funny character. Wow. Then on the second generation, we have an interesting character called um, Ulbricht Lorraine, that eventually dies at the end of the series. But he is an interesting character. The captain of in the second generation is a woman called Milais Aloy, that eventually is the captain of the ship in the second generation. And then we have basically also from the second generation we have a very interesting adversary that appeared is and is I'll say we have Zehart Galette, that is a very interesting character, that is the main antagonist in the second generation, and he was a friend of Azemu Azunu, the son of Flint, and his story is also fantastic, and he was an excellent character. We also have the appearance or the reappearance in the second generation of a guy that appeared in the first generation called Basil Galette. This guy is completely a psycho. And these are members of the vegan forces. And we also have others. We have the Magician Zayt, we have Gerard Springen, Leil Light, Zeragins, and the leader of the vegans is a guy called Fazarl Ezelkand. It's a very interesting character. And also after the end of the second generation, we learn that Azemu kinda goes missing in action, and then we found him again on the third generation when he is becoming the captain of a pirate ship. And then in the third generation, we have also very interesting characters besides the character of Kyo, that is kinda a pussy in a way. But the three generations are interesting because basically Flint hates the vegans completely and he thinks nothing but obliterate them. Azemu basically is a guy that is disturbed because he wants to catch up with his father, that is Flint, that in the second generation he is the space commander fleet of the Earth Federation. He wants to catch up with his father, and also he wants to catch up with Zehart and such, and it's the dilemma, the drama is interesting, and it's very well explained in the compilation over that they released in 2013, called Mobile Suit Memory of Eden. And basically this kind of adds a lot more in depth to the relation between Azemu and Zehart, and kind of show us how they see their route in the war, and what were their experiences during the war. And it's, the Memory of Eden is very interesting because adds much more in depth to the characters, the relation between the characters. They show us some new scenes. They kind of remake other scenes, but in on the overall, the Memory of Eden is very good because kind of reshapes in a way the second generation and gives more character development and show us more in depth the relation between Zemu and Zehard, and that was quite good. And eventually the Memory of Eden goes straight to the end of the series when Zehard dies in combat against precisely Azemu. But it's very interesting. And well, like I say, in terms of story, well, we again have the usual story. We have the Earth Federations in one side, and then we have a group, this case the Vegans, that are also humans, but they are humans from Mars, basically. And we have kinda, it's not the usual stuff of a fight between the colonies and the Earth Federation, but it's pretty similar. The idea of having three characters of the same family evolving the Gundam and such, well, I think the idea was interesting and I like the way they did. My only regret is that they could have developed some parts more, but especially on the second generation. But since they did make Memory of Eden, um, I was more pleased by that because it gives to me the in-depth between the relation between Azemu and Zehard that the series on the overall kind of missed. But well, that was good. And then the third generation, about Kyo is interesting, his problems and how he changes, and eventually he also helps his grandfather Flint changes their ways in the end. And then we have the final episodes of the season, the final 10 episodes, were basically these three generations fighting against vegans, and that was very interesting, and I like the way they did it. In terms of mobile suits, well, they have interesting powers in a way. Some were kind of disappointing, especially in the final parts of the series. Um, on the other characters, well, Grodek Ainoa was a great character. Wolf and Eachlep for me was a great character, and I was, well, pretty sad when he dies in the series. Then we have Zihard, like I say, is also a very interesting character. Dazil from the Vegan Forces, these two. The captain of the third generation, Ataria, it's also a very interesting character through all the series. And well, I think that basically these are my final impressions on Mobile Suit Gundam Age. So I like the series. It's enjoyable to watch. I like the concept of having three generations different with different views or different ways to see the war. And we can see that shock and that clash between their different ideals through the series, especially in the final parts of the series when the three came together and they were in a way forced to fight the vegans, and we see clearly their differences in the ways of thinking. It's kind of interesting because Flint initially starts as a interesting character, then basically becomes a dick, and at the end of the series, okay, he kind of became a more cool guy. Azimu, I will not say Azimu is a dick, but he's kind of a prick because the guy left his family and left his son and his wife and such. Even if I do understand the reasons behind it, it's kind of bad. And then we have Kyo that at the start he does want to fight, then he learns about the difficulties of the people of Mars, what they come through during all these years. He befriends of a couple of brothers, and this experience when he was captured by the vegans kind of changed his way of seeing the war and wanting to put an end to the war. So that was very, very interesting. So, well, that's it. So these are my final impressions on Mobile Suit Gundam Age. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Stay well. Peace. See you soon.